And to show just what a mess the American economy is in and just what President Obama is up against for the next 4 years, in one of the ballsiest imaginable moves, a group of AIG shareholders here is launching a lawsuit against the US government over the terms of their bailout in 2008. And AIG themselves spent the first half of this week seriously considering joining it. Now, on the official corporate ballometer, Andy, the scientific instrument that gauges the size of a corporation's testicles during any given action, you will see that those are some pretty gargantuan balls. On the scale, I believe they rank somewhere between regulation-sized basketball and space hopper. Just to be clear, the American taxpayer, which now includes me, Andy, saved AIG
At last.
from what was almost certain bankruptcy. And now AIG is going to thank us by suing us. That is like someone robbing your house, slipping and falling on the way out, and then suing you for breaking their leg. When they came up with that lawsuit, there must have been jumping up and down in the conference room, Andy, and high-fiving, as well as a deep clanging sound everywhere in the room, made by their giant titanium testicles slamming together.
This made a great. I mean, I think this has been a strong start to 2013 for America, John. We had the obviously the hitting baseballs off a warship into a crowd of jet skis last year, but the $1 trillion coin and suing the government for bailing you out. I mean, that's really taking Americanism to a whole new financial level.
That is the claim. The claim is that they're doing this really in the most American possible way, because it turns out they're claiming that the terms of the bailout deal forced AIG into a loan with a high interest rate, which was unfair to its shareholders as it deprived them of tens of billions of dollars in extra profit and, crucially, violated the Fifth Amendment, which prohibits the taking of private property for public uses. So AIG is going to use the Fifth Amendment to sue us, Andy. In that case, allow me to use the First Amendment to tell them to go f*** themselves. Because how thoughtless it was for us to have saved AIG's arse for them, Andy. Did we somehow not save it enough? Could we have saved it better? Would they have preferred us to save their arse, then polish that arse up, slip a 20 between its cheeks, and then bake their arse a cake to thank them for letting us save it? Now, on the plus side, Andy, this lawsuit has done the impossible and fully united America for the first time in decades. This country cannot agree on anything at the moment, apart from how much everyone now thinks that AIG is a bunch of grade A, platinum grade dick satchels. They've become a lightning rod for hate, and sadly, not a lightning rod for actual lightning.
Well, I mean, talking about the $1 trillion coin, I mean, that could be something in, all future bailouts being, in billion-dollar banknotes slapped on the arses of the managing directors of failing banks. I think it would be a far more honest relationship between the government and the banks that have got them into that trouble.
The only person in America who publicly stated that this lawsuit was a good idea was a man called David Boies, who wrote an op-ed in USA Today. But it turned out that David Boies is actually the ex-CEO of AIG's lawyer, who is the man behind the whole lawsuit. So the only person stating that they're in support of this is literally being paid to say that. And luckily, the op-ed was only in USA Today, so people aren't going to read it so much as they're going to step over it in the morning when exiting their hotel rooms. Boom! Paper slam, Andy. Paper slam. And all this is happening at the same time that AIG are running national TV commercials announcing that they've successfully paid off the entire bailout loan and thanking America for its help pulling them out of bankruptcy. The current ad says, "We at AIG said we were going to turn it around, and we did. We're helping Joplin, Missouri come back from a devastating tornado. And now we're helping the East Coast recover from Hurricane Sandy." Yeah, and you know why you're doing that, AIG? Because you're a f***ing insurance company. You're not doing any of that out of charity. You're doing it because you're contractually obliged to. And even then, you're trying to wheedle out of some of those claims. Anyway, the ad goes on to say, "We're now leaner and focused on what we do best. We've repaid every dollar America lent us. We turned it around. Thank you, America. Thank you, America. Thank you, America, for the freedom to ensure a brighter future." And yet, Andy, they very nearly joined this lawsuit, which is going ahead now anyway. So were those thank yous sarcastic? Am I mishearing the tone of voice there. Was that the first ever sarcastic thank you commercial? Because one thing is for sure. At the end of the world, when this planet is just a pile of smoking rubble, the only things left standing are going to be cockroaches and AIG.
That's Darwinism, John.
Yeah.
That is economic Darwinism.
I actually think it, at the very least, Andy, is appropriate for America to now make some commercials to send a message back to AIG set to similarly cloying music. AIG said they were going to do it, and they did. They paid back their bailout fund, but only after giving hundreds of millions in bonuses to executives. They've paid back every dollar America lent them while bitching and complaining every step of the way, and then considered suing the people that helped them in the first place. They did it. They actually did it. F*** you, AIG. F*** you. Seriously, go f*** yourself. No, seriously. Seriously, AIG. Seriously. F*** you.
USA. USA.